It sticks in bones until they break. When I was there, I was feeling fine, singing songs and singing mine. Cloudy vision of traditional lake. It sticks in bones until they break.
Hello, I'm Kimberlie and welcome to RezStyle. I'm here today with Jim Boyd from the Colville Reservation, and he's received the Lifetime Achievement Award at the Native American Music Awards. I want to thank you for joining me, and you want to share with me, you've been doing music for what, 40 years, 30 years?
Almost 40 years probably, yeah, as a singer-songwriter, probably writing my own stuff, probably for closer to 20, but a long time either way, yeah.
You played with Exit, and you've done a lot of played with a lot of musicians. Share with us who you've all played with.
Well, I've done things with Exit. Yeah, that was one of the first groups I was in. I was in a heavy metal group called Winterhawk in out of the Bay Area at the time. And I was with a group called Grey Wolf that was a lot of really good friends of mine. And then I've had my own RezBound and Coyote and a lot of different groups that have performed with me in a lot of different configurations, and some of the core ones have stuck with me throughout the year. You know, Fonzo, he's been around, you know, he'll still play whenever I need him as a drummer, and he's been, gosh, I've probably known him, you know, 25 years, so it's been a while, but yeah, I've done a lot of different, I mean, throughout the years, I've got 14 albums out, and they're all different genres and different, you know, I just like so many different types of music, and the music has been like an addiction to me, so I've actually got I've got like a small business management degree at one time to get out of the music business, you know, so it's something that, you know, has been it's a gift, but also a curse sometimes, or that's the way I look at it sometimes, you know, I'm addicted. But
You're the chairman of the Colville Business Council. What encouraged you to get into politics?
Oh, well, I mean, I don't know. It was just something that I was, you know, I'd played music for so many years, and I'd had my own business. I've done production things, and I was back around the res for a while, and there was a lot of other things going on, and actually a lot of it was my family, my wife, and a lot of some of my support system that has been with me throughout the music industry days, and they were, you know, there was a lot of other things like language going on and a lot of other issues that were coming up that we needed to deal with, and that they thought I would be good to, you know, help them, you know, with, and it was something that I'd thought about for a lot of years, you know, but I was never sure I would get to that, you know, but it's such a different thing than yeah, the music business, that it's always an honor to work for your people and to be able to, you know, try to bring things forward, and I'm on, you know, the Colville Reservation is there's almost 10,000 members. We're actually 12 different tribes on 1.4 million acres, so we're and there's 14 council, you know, there's 13 besides me, and so we have to deal with a lot of politics there. That's fun.
But you were saying that your council is making a difference and actually doing positive things that's been more than there has been in the past.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure if it's more than in the past, but this group of people are moving things, because I've only been on, this is my second term, which is their 2-year terms, and so I just started my second term, but for all the issues that are on the table, you know, that we deal with every day, we seem to be a pretty good group, to where, you know, there's so many different issues, and we have people that represent like health and human services things well, and then there's the people that we have you know, Billy Nicholson, who knows a lot about finance and a lot about, you know, a lot of the different things when it comes to our budgets, and I don't know that we've in fact had anybody with his background in the position that he's in right now. So we've got a pretty well-rounded council that you know, but just as all councils, we have just so many issues that we deal with, and you know, you can't always get to your issues because we have things like fires and, you know, forest fire. We have so many emergencies that come up too, and that's been it's just such a, I'm still in this learning curve that, you know, that you never know what to expect, you know, kind of thing. But it is rewarding.
I hear that that on your reservation you guys declared a state of emergency in regards to suicide. Can you share with us about that?
Yeah, we did a couple of years ago was when it started. We started to having many youth that were, you know, committing suicide, and it's within the last couple of years. And we go through these different stages. It's happened a few years back too, and then every once in a while it'll just come up again. And as I think you know, my son Jim committed suicide on September 10th, 2006, and so that's always, you know, there with me, you know, and it's something that's always difficult. It never, you know, it's something that never goes away, and so we can, there's a lot of us there that can relate to a lot of the other families and the loved ones that are going through this, and that's hard because, I mean, there's just, it's so hard, and so, yeah, the tribe declared a state of emergency on, and it's better now, but you know, you never know if it's cyclical or whatever, you know, when like, you just try to bring awareness and try to help the people that are going through it, and try to help, you know, keeping people from, you know, if you can, from you know, getting, there's so many different reasons, you know, depression and just hopelessness, and so, I mean, it's just such a difficult thing, and it's but I'm not sure any of us really have the answers, but still, I mean, trying to bring us all together to be able to deal with these issues are, you know, is what we need to do.
Yeah, what are you guys doing on your reservation in regards to your state of emergency to change things for the youth?
Well, to change things for the youth, some of the things that we look at is prevention. You know, we try to find, that's one of the that we're looking, we're trying to start like boys and girls clubs and different things like that, and trying to just make, we're looking at right now trying to make a lot more available or options or opportunities for the children to be able to do to you know, to have just to, because we do have problems with, I mean, we have had one of the problems that we've had is we talk about doing things for our youth and for our elders, and then our actions say different. You know, we don't do enough, and a lot of the council will tell you the same thing. But and so I think that's what we're trying to walk the talk, I think, is what we're trying to do right now, more, you know, and just stop talking about it and start doing some of this is what we're looking at now.
Are you going to be putting out a new album coming out in the future?
I probably will. I still record and write all the time. You know, that's something that I'll never stop. It's like cathartic. It's my therapy, and so I do write, but I never know what I'm gonna release. I've got a lot of songs that I probably will never release too. I mean, they're about different issues. I've got really goofy songs. I've got a lot of different types of material that I write, and but I'm sure I could compile an album tomorrow, and just, but you know, the way the industry is right now, you don't know what you're going to do with it afterwards, and if you don't, you know, I just hang on to it, and so that's what I do, or until I'm sure I'll put something out. I actually just released this year, I re-released Unity, which was out 20 years ago, you know, but we remastered it in LA, and it's got a bigger sound, and it was something that, and I just started listening, you know, and I recorded some of the things in those days. It was with such primitive recording gear. I was recording in my house and basement and wherever else, and and so I wouldn't listen to it for years, you know, and then I was listening to it again, and it got me, and I was going, wow, that's, you know, you forget about all the mistakes and everything else. You go, that sounds pretty good, you know, so I remastered it and re-released it, and it's, and so I have boxes full of them in my closet. I haven't promoted it, you know, so that's basically, that's what I try to not do is if I put out a new album, and that's always been my problem, is I can write and record and produce, and then I want to move on to my next one, and not, you know, as a label, that's not a good thing. You know, you need to promote and market the thing, but I just want to go back to, you know, I just want to write something else. So that's what I focus on more, I guess, more than than the selling the CDs or putting them up. You know, which I probably should focus on a little bit, I guess. But now I mean, it takes. This is a full-time job, being chairman of the Colville Business Council, so it takes all my time, and I don't really, I don't have the time to do it the way I would like to do it as a music business person. So
If you have one message that you could leave with the youth, what would that be?
that would be to just do what you want to do. I mean, I always think of when I'm thinking of my Lifetime Achievement Award, and I was thinking of this, it was something that, you know, people were telling me, asking me, or they were telling, like, what are you going to do after this? What's next? And I was kind of, wow, so are you telling me I'm done? This is it? You know, this is, I mean, I did music for a lot of other reasons besides getting awards. But I remember being young and just loving music and loving, you know, it was an obsession, and I did it for a lot of years, and I had to do it. It wasn't that, you know, I love sports, and I played football, basketball, and baseball. I loved them equally too, you know, so it was, and so you just, I think it was just being able to do the things, just do what you want to do. You know, I mean, that's some of the things we're so, you know, as youth, sometimes we're always, I see some of the strongest youth nowadays who are just doing what they want to do, you know, and that's it. They're not listening to everybody else. They're not following anybody else. They're the leaders, and they're, you know, and even though they right now they might not fit in with this over here or over here, but you can just see them being strong, and I know it can be lonely, but still, you know, I mean, it's so powerful to see people like this, and I just, you know, and that's what, even like with music and some of these young people here, it's like, that's one of the reasons I come here too, is just to see these young people get up and just perform, and they're awesome. You know, it's cool to see all the talent in Indian country, and there's so much, and there's so many artists of all genres, everything, you know, and that's what we don't. Awards like the Native American Music Awards are so awesome because they spotlight this, where, you know, in Indian country we don't really spotlight that a lot. So we don't want to brag on ourselves. We don't want to say, you know, so we have all these young artists that are just phenomenal, but nobody tells them they're any good, you know, or it's, I mean, and they don't need to hear it, but they do need to see that their stuff is valuable, you know, and that's what it is, even though it's, you know, they're creating this amazing artwork or whatever else they're doing, you know, and that's just, I mean, you just want to find a way to let them know that, you know, and the Native American Music Awards is one way, and we need a lot, you know, more venues or places like this to do that.
Do you have a website where people can go and learn more about your music?
Oh yeah, I have. Oh, I can't forget it. It's jimboyd.com, I guess. But it's yeah, that's jimboyd.com, and it's yeah. I've just got so many different. It took me a long time to get that domain, it's like, so now I have to keep using it. But it's yeah, I can use my own name now.
Well, I want to thank you for joining me. I'm Kimberlie Acosta with Indian Country TV. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, that was.
This one